Hello, this is Evangelist Dr. Robert L. McKim Sr. from Carrollton, Ohio. First off, let me tell you, a lot of Donald Trump supporters out there bashing me over the video I did of what Donald Trump has said about the heavyset guy that was heckling him when he started commenting about how many people's on food stamps in this country. Let me first ask you people who are Donald Trump supporters. Okay, some of you people say, well, I mispronounced cellulitis. They call me elephant cell. Let me tell you something. I'm only 205 pounds. Okay, 205. Sometimes 210, around 205 to 210 pounds. I used to weigh a lot less. Until my diabetes kicked in. But I don't know why you people don't understand. You think you understand, but you don't understand. You don't understand. You think exercise and eating right should take care of everything. No, it doesn't. It doesn't take care of birth defects. Once you're born with something, you're born with it. You cannot get rid of it no matter how much you exercise it or eat the right kind of foods away. You're going to have it. There's nothing that can be done to correct it. Especially when it's caught too late in life, or even like with some people, like with Renee with cerebral palsy and epilepsy. She's had surgeries after surgeries to try to fix things. But it still hasn't made everything right. Got people here saying, for instance, this person here said, if you refuse to work and rely on government handouts, you will most likely struggle financially. I don't refuse to work. I have worked. But now with the nerve damage in my legs and my feet, let me ask you this. And I commented on I made a comment asking people, find me a job where I cannot be on my feet too long. Because when I'm on my feet too long, the nerve damage in my feet makes my feet feel like they're swelled up. And with Renee, with her severe drop foot on her left foot, and having this edema, and the cellulitis, her leg and her foot and her ankle swells up when she's up on her leg too long. The doctor told her, stay off your leg, keep it up as much as possible. But yet you people don't get it. We're doing what the doctors say, but yet you're saying, "Oh, do this, do that, do something else, and you'll be better." Let me tell you something. You don't know everything. You don't. You only think you do, but you don't. Walk a mile in our shoes. Walk a day in our shoes. And you know what it's like. The problem is you don't want to. That's a problem. A lot of conservative people, even if they're not Christian, they think it's a dog eat world, and if you're weak, then you need to get out of the way. That is not the Christian way. That is not God's way. That's the problem. There's a lot of conservatives out there that are not Christian, truly Christian. Because to be a real Christian is to do unto others as you would have them do unto you. To love one another as you love yourself. The problem is people love themselves way more than they want to love somebody else. And that is not being a true Christian. Getting everything that you can get is not being a true Christian. It's not being a true follower of the one true God or His Son Jesus Christ. Come on now. Someone says here, did hypoglycemia also melt your teeth? What happened to them? It's called acid reflux. Acid comes up into out of my stomach because of GERD, gastro reflux, esophageal. Acid reflux disease, GERD. And then I also have Barrett's esophageal, which is where the lining of my esophagus has changed to where I could get esophagus cancer. And they don't replace your esophagus yet. Right now it's controlled with medication and eating the right kind of foods. Foods that are not so acidy. But oh, that's the wrong kind. You should, come on now. Let's, oh, come on. Someone says thyroid. You're just lazy, fatty. A lot of people making a lot of smart comments that don't know really what they're talking about. You have severe autism. I am not autistic, sorry to tell you that. Of course, then they were commenting about some other things too. I can see food between your teeth. Well, maybe I had some teeth back then. I don't remember. Without, actually looking at my video again here. But long story short. For your own sake, get yourself into a gym. Like I said, if I'm on my feet, the nerve, you don't understand about nerve damage. Evidently not. Otherwise you wouldn't be making all these smart comments that makes yourself even look dumber. Because if you research neuropathy and nerve damage, you might understand. Then again, maybe not. Because you're not going through it. And of course, some people saying, well, he was just only making a joke. But it's a wrong kind of joke to make. If he was joking. And if, there's some people saying, well, just now recently, the Pope, which I'm not Catholic. Sorry, I'm Christian. I'm not Catholic. I'm a disciple. I'm not Catholic. I don't pray to Mary or have Mary pray to intercede for me. No, I go right to God the Father through His Son Jesus Christ. I don't have to go through anybody else to have anybody else pray for me. But it was, kind of lost my train of thought, but long story short. Oh yeah, Donald Trump and the Pope. The Pope saying it's not Christian to build walls. Well, excuse me. It is godly to build walls. Godly to build walls. It might not be Christian to build walls, but it's godly to build walls. To keep the enemy out. The Israelites build walls around the cities to keep the enemy out. Read the Old Testament. And you'll find where they had to rebuild the wall. Ezekiel. Where they were rebuilding the wall. It's so easy to forget. And they had to make gates in the wall to allow certain things in and certain things out. Okay, you don't allow everything into your city or into your country. If you do, then you're going to be destroyed from within. And that is what is happening to this country. We are being destroyed from within because we have been allowing so much garbage coming in instead of dumping the garbage out through the dung gate. Yeah, there's a dung gate that they had to build to dump the garbage out. But so easy to forget of how really God has set things up. Now is that we're not Christian? Like I said, being a true Christian is loving yourself. Loving others as you love yourself. That's a true Christian. Give and it shall be given unto you. Pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Give. That's what being a true Christian is all about. But giving doesn't mean you have to open yourself up to everything that comes in. So, Pope, I'm sorry to tell you, you're not a man of God. The one true God. And Donald Trump, if you are truly a Christian, walk a mile in my shoes. Walk a day in my shoes. Come and visit me. And see what I have to go through. And what Renee has to go through. And maybe you'll understand. And maybe you could tell these people who are making all these smart comments on my YouTube what is really going on. I also want to talk about briefly here that America is heading for judgment. God has been trying to send us warnings. He sent us Jona. But yet not very many Americans are getting it. Not very many so-called Christians or people of God even got it. But Michael Snyder did. And he said it right here on the Jim Baker Show.
Snowstorm we just had. You said God spoke to you something about that snowstorm.
Okay, everyone heard about the historic blizzard hit Washington, D.C.,
Yes.
hit New York City, caused billions of dollars of damage. Flooding along the coast was even worse in many areas than Hurricane Sandy. Now, there's something very special about this storm, which hardly anyone has talked about. In fact, I don't know really anyone else that's talking about this. But this storm had a name. Now, you remember, it was named Jonas. Now, Jonas is a Greek transliteration of the Hebrew name Jonah.
Yeah.
Now, of course, Jonah was the Hebrew prophet that went to Nineveh, the capital of Assyria, to warn that the judgment of Assyria, to warn that the judgment of God was coming. So here we have a storm named after a biblical prophet that was specifically sent to the capital of a nation to warn that the judgment of God was coming. Now, this storm named after this Hebrew prophet, it hit Washington, D.C., our capital. It didn't just hit the nation's capital, but the timing is extremely significant. This storm hit Washington, D.C. on the exact anniversary of Roe versus Wade.
Yes.
And this was the exact place where Roe versus Wade was decided. So
Did you all know that?
yeah, no one's talking about this. I wrote a whole huge article about it, but no one else in the Christian world's talking about it. But how much clearer can God get on the exact...
Because we're ignoring the warnings of God in the United States of America. We think God is going to wink at the fact that we've murdered 50 million of our babies. God is saying to us, we can't do this.
Yes.
And He's warning us and warning us. This is amazing, people. No accidents. This is why I love to have the prophets come, because they put the dates.
Pastor Jim, on the two previous shows I was here, I talked about the progression of judgment that was coming to America. We
Yes.
talked about all the examples.
Yes.
But now this one's the clearest of all. On the exact date that Roe versus Wade was decided, in the exact place where it was decided, a truly historic blizzard, massive disaster comes that's named after a Hebrew prophet that was specifically sent to a capital city to warn that the judgment of God was coming. This is remarkable to me, yet this isn't being proclaimed from the pulpits of America. The Christian world's not paying any attention to it. Pastor Jim, the judgment of God is coming. God is being exceedingly clear. The judgments are escalating, but people are sleeping. People aren't waking up. People need to wake up because time is running out.
That's right, people. Time is running out. Time is running out, people. Wake up before it's too late. Donald Trump, if you're truly a Christian, come and visit me and get these morons off of my back that keep making all these stupid comments. And also help me with the woman from Thailand that thinks she's better. See, just because I live in an older mobile home and I don't wear fancy clothes like she does, or I don't eat the same kind of food that she does, or talk the way she talks, or believes the way she believes. And help me get some other people off my back that's constantly making smart comments because they think they're better. Otherwise, that's being a true Christian. Christians helping one another is being a true Christian. That's what I keep saying. But nobody's getting it. Everybody keeps saying, well, you're after a handout. You're after, this and that and something else. You just refuse to work. If you had my back and my legs and my feet, you would understand why I cannot. C-A-N-N-O-T. Cannot work. There's a difference between cannot and will not. There's a difference. So get it straight. That's all I have to say today. God bless you. Have a blessed day.